Hello, everyone. My name is Austin Knop. You know me as the pre-launch coordinator for My Home Concierge. Today, for our Meet the Pros series, I am joined by a good friend of mine, Candace Myers, who is from Dash Supplemental Insurance. Candace, take a moment to introduce yourself to the community.
Yeah, hey Austin, thank you so much for having me on. So Dash Supplemental is your 24/7 living benefit. So what we do is educate Canadians on how they can protect themselves from anything that happens unexpected and teach you about how you are actually your best asset and how to protect yourself as your best asset.
Fantastic. Dash is a really interesting business. I'm curious to know, how does Dash and supplemental insurance differentiate from, typical like life insurance, like what we all know?
Yeah, absolutely. So what we do is obviously life insurance is known as a death benefit, right? So how many times do we pass away in life? Usually it's just one time, but we're more likely to probably get hurt or sick before we do pass away. So what we do is actually protect you while you're living. So our saying with Dash is your life is made up of two dates and a dash, the day you're born, the day you pass away. Protect the dash. So there's quite a few things that we do that's really, really unique in the industry. Number one, a lot of people don't even know that we exist. The company that we market for is actually a 100-year-old company. So they're not new to the industry, but they're new to a lot of Canadians because we don't advertise in the traditional way. So number one, we're actually a day one protection. So with a lot of different disabilities and life insurance, things like that, you have to meet a waiting period or what's called an elimination period. So how long are you actually off before you can actually get any money from the company? Well, we cover you day one. The other thing that we do is we are actually a 24/7 living benefit. So we're not just an on or off the job protection, we're a true 24/7. We cover all of your activities, whether you're working in the home, doing renovations. So even if you're hurt outside of work, we cover all of your recreational activities, and we even cover your children as well.
Yeah, and that's, I think, what really intrigues me about every time that we talk about supplemental insurance is that, it goes far and beyond just you and yourself and all the extracurriculars that you might do. You got kids and, just like mine, they're in something different every week, every month, every year. And, to have that consistent protection, I think it speaks a lot. So, yeah, so one of the other questions that I like asking everyone is, what are some common misconceptions or concerns that people have when first talking about supplemental insurance?
Yeah, that's an amazing question. So the best way I can answer that is relating it to what everybody knows. Like you said, the traditional industry, we know that there's long-term disability, life insurance, and critical illness, which all typically only pay you out once. So what we actually do is we are an unlimited claim. So we actually give you as many claims as you need throughout life. So like you mentioned, your kids are in different activities and sports. They might get hurt a lot more than us as adults, being a little bit more careful, but we're going to give you unlimited claims and your rates are never going up. So the biggest misconception with any company is you want to know, are they going to actually pay? So, the stigma of insurance is that they try and find a loophole and they're not going to pay me out on my claim. With us, because we don't advertise, we've actually put all of our money to paying out our clients. So last year alone, we actually paid out over 28,800 Canadians. So that's something really, really unique. When we sit down with any client, we educate them on what the traditional industry is versus what we do and how it's so different. We're one of those plans that are going to actually cover you and pay you when we say we're going to, because that is our main focus. We're not spending that money on advertising or having physical offices. So we don't have to jump through loopholes to try and not pay you. The whole goal of what our founder created was to have a company by the people for the people. So our fame to claim is actually that we pay claims.
You know what? I think as far as insurance goes, that's a pretty amazing claim. As funny as that might be. The one, I think the very last thing that I wanted to ask you that I think will really help highlight why it is that we brought you on to the Meet the Pro series for My Home Concierge is, if you wouldn't mind talking for a second on how you fit into families and how that maybe we talk a little bit about the family plan that Dash has available and what it can do.
Absolutely. So whenever has, any sort of insurance company ever given you discounts on having more people? It's kind of unheard of, right? We've heard of being able to combine our home and our auto to get a discount. But what we actually do is we cover all of your littles, right? We're covering your children. Of course, they don't bring in an income, but that's what sets us apart is we are not an income replacement. We are your living benefit for time loss. So, Austin, if one of your kids were hurt or sick, you're of course going to drop everything to be by their side, right? So maybe that's taking you away from your office hours. So we're actually compensating you. The family is protected at a discount. Your children are protected just the same as they were as if they were a breadwinner. So we can actually customize any plan to any budget. And everything that we do comes accident and sickness. So it's completely customizable to the family and to the person that we're sitting with. But we are making sure that your family is protected 24/7, just as well as we would protect the breadwinner.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that, from with the family plan being able to be not only extremely affordable, like very, very, very affordable compared to any insurance I've ever dealt with. On top of that, being able to cover something as simple as, a couple stitches or a broken finger, or, God forbid, something really unfortunate happens and, it's a longer time in the hospital or in the emergency room, you cover a lot of that stuff, which I think I think there's a few things you said that set up Dash apart from other insurance companies, but those are some really, really big differentiators for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's all the things that are going to happen to us, minor or major, before we pass away, right? And so you hit the nail on the head there. We have plans for stitches that are going to cover you even if you don't miss work. We're of course paying for your time in the hospital. I mean, you could agree there's people in the hospital right now, especially with everything going on in the world, tons of people in the hospital that didn't expect to be in there. The one major thing that a lot of people don't know, and this is what we do, we walk through a really quick educational process with every client, is, you are your best asset, right? We insure our homes and we insure our cars as assets, but what happens if we couldn't earn an income? Those bills and those payments are still coming out of our account. So a lot of Canadians are now increasing their debt or losing their hard-earned savings just to pay their bills. So the stats right now are actually astronomical. So 46% of and this is in Canada, 46% of foreclosures on homes are due to a disability. So somebody unable to make their payments. And so it's not actually just from those death benefits. So a lot of people aren't realizing actually that they have a really long waiting period. We sit down with somebody, they think they might be fully covered with work or some sort of type of benefit that they have. We're not here to change or replace anything, but just to point out, if you have a 4-month waiting period, more than likely you've probably already healed and gone back to work before that benefit's even kicked in. So we're making sure that you're not becoming one of those stats, and making sure that you and your family and the biggest purchase of your life, your home, is protected. And we're making sure that you never have to lose your hard-earned savings or increase debt just to be able to make those mortgage payments, if God forbid, something unexpected happened.
For sure. And you know what? I think you also hit the nail right on the head there as to how that pairs well into how, My Home Concierge fits into a homeowner's life as far as making the process simpler, less confusion, getting the right answers at the right time and day one when you need them, as opposed to, having to go through a long process, find the right type of people, put in the claim, see if it happens, right? Like it's pretty, I think what Dash does in supplemental insurance is pretty unique, and we're excited to share your business with our community.
Amazing. Thank you so much. Yeah, it's really unique, and I'm really excited to be able to hopefully get a bigger reach and be able to educate more people on this amazing company, and that a company and coverage like this even exists. So we've actually been nicknamed Canada's best kept secret. So thank you so much for having me on.
Fantastic. Well, that's a great note to leave us on. Candace, again, thank you for joining us here, and thank you all for watching. We'll see you next time on our next Meet the Pros video. Bye now.